So just this week, actually, just on Tuesday, we saw reports that a train that was carrying oil collided with an 18-wheeler semi-truck and exploded. And the explosion was huge, and it was like ridiculously hot. And there were all these people that had video footage and everything. And so this is kind of, it goes back to the issue that we saw with Biden revoking the permit for the Keystone XL pipeline, which is the pipeline that was carrying oil from Canada to the U.S. And so a lot of workers, when this story first happened that Biden revoked the permit, they were very angry, and rightfully so, because this decision, this executive order, effectively killed about 11,000 jobs, and 8,000 of those were union jobs, I believe. And so it was just a very sad time for a lot of those people. And so one of the issues that they raised when they were talking to reporters about this is that canceling the pipeline is only going to pave the way for more unsafe methods of oil transportation. And so this is what we've seen here. And we actually have a video of the explosion, if we're able to put that up on the screen.
Back up. Holy oh my god. Dude, that's gotta be a train. Wow, we felt that in the car.
So that explosion is just massive, and you can see that they are actually afraid, and they're backing up their car. And so, when Biden revoked the permit for the Keystone pipeline, his whole basis for doing so is because he wanted a better climate, and he wanted to, one of the premises of his campaign, one of the promises was that he was going to create 10 million clean energy jobs. And he has not really given a specific date when he's going to create these jobs, or even what these jobs are going to look like. And so it really, this incident in particular, just kind of goes back to the question of, well, if we're having trains exploding that are carrying oil, is that not worse for the climate than putting oil through the pipeline? And so I just wanted to kind of open it up for discussion. Do we think that this incident is going to kind of raise some eyebrows in the Biden administration?
Of course it's not. We talk on the campaign trail all the time, and we hear constantly from the left-wing establishment that, this is going to be the better way, to get away from oil, or at the very least to move away from dangerous pipelines, which leak all over the place, blah, 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 blah. Unfortunately, none of that's true. I mean, we see right here all of that oil that was going to be slowly burned up in people's vehicles and in, different machines over the course of, a year, maybe more, just lit on fire and, emitted into the atmosphere immediately, because it is absolutely unthinkably difficult to move a largely flammable object vast distances in an open system. At least with these pipelines, you have the closed system. It's very reminiscent of, we're going to hear constantly about how dangerous oil is in light of the BP oil spill. We heard the same thing. Unfortunately, with those attacks, nobody seems to realize that they are attacking the safest means and the most efficient means that we have thus far. Right. It's not as though a bunch of evil, oil barons have just woken up one morning and decided, how can we move our product in the most dangerous and inefficient way possible for the environment? Instead, we see it being done in the best way possible and attacked by the left, and they're just pushing things into the worst possible avenues imaginable. And we see the effects here, but unfortunately, I don't think that this is going to wake up the left to those realities at all.
Yeah, fossil fuels and oil and coal and all that stuff. It's not only, the most efficient, but it's really outside of nuclear, which the left has also put out their fear-mongering campaign about. Outside of that, it's really our only option, because it's the only thing that has enough power to really sustain this whole country. With clean energy, we don't even have large enough batteries for clean energy to store that much energy for us to use later. So this is really our only option. And that's the one thing Biden didn't realize when he's closing down. When you close down that pipeline, we still need all that. Yeah. And so now we're just going to be moving it in different ways, and they're much more dangerous ways.
Right. So you don't think that the administration is going to want to even comment on this issue?
No, they're not.
No, I don't see any sort of major action being taken or any major statements. I think they'll talk about what a calamity it is, and they may even employ it as another excuse
Yes.
for why oil is dangerous and bad, despite the fact that they are pushing it into those avenues. I think that's the problem with the left, is when they envision these perfect world scenarios, they never think about the externalities, and they never think about what has to happen on the way to that perfect world. I don't think there's anyone on the right who believes in a free market and who believes in an efficient United States and a prosperous United States that doesn't think some of these excellent things that we're seeing, like Tesla, aren't the future. They absolutely are, but we're not there yet. And the government
Yes.
forcing us down that road before we're ready for it is only going to create more dangers. So I think if they were smart, they'll lay off it. But I think that if they're going to bring it up at all, they're only going to dig themselves into a deeper hole.
Yeah, no, they're going to use it as another example of why we need to completely eliminate all fossil fuels, and it's a shame.